Harry Potter is a pretty popular book, however fame does not necessarily translate into greatness. For starters, there's something I don't like about Harry Potter. The term blank slate comes to mind, along with the term escapism and also the term murder her in her sleep, but that one is more for my therapist. Harry grows up in the most tragic situation imaginable, and then is elevated to instant fame and respect. My problem is that he feels chemically engineered to be relatable to misunderstood nerds. I find him to be kind of a hard character to identify with personally. After all, in stark contrast to him, I grew up with a loving and notably alive family and had to work to be special. Harry, however, was born with special wizard powers and even happens to be, quote, the perfect build for Quidditch despite never working out. Perhaps if I had 1 million subscribers come in the moment I opened my channel, I could relate more. I'm also not entirely sold on the idea that spells are particularly useful. Sure, the ability to fly would be clean and efficient transportation from work to home, but in terms of offensive potency, Voldemort would lose in an instant to your average redneck. Now, admittedly, it wouldn't be much of a climax if Harry stood his ground and blew Voldemort's brains out with a gun. I suppose that's the thing when magic exists parallel to the modern world, though. Anyways, I found the opening to be a bit too slow. They could have cut a lot of it out and it would have been fine. I only bring this up because readers live in a modern world with a near infinite number of distractions, so boiling these opening pages to just the absolute vital details would be necessary to keeping their attention. The fact that readers have probably read the same or similar tragic backstory in other books only makes it worse. The reason there is this intro at all is to establish Harry as a character and make him sympathetic to the reader. I don't think it was necessary to make it as over the top as it was. You may say, of course it was over the top and on the news, it's a kid's book. You'd be right. However, if it is just a kid's book, then why is it so popular? I really think they could have told Harry Potter's backstory before coming to Hogwarts in just 1 or 2 pages, but instead it stretches out for nearly 20. Not to say it's a bad book by any means, and despite being for kids, there's a lot of darkness that oozes from its pages. There's Harry's upbringing. There's also the massive 3-headed dog. Just the existence of it is already metal. The fact it attacks someone and actually makes them bleed adds legitimate tension surrounding Fluffy. There's also an underlying murder mystery type thing going around, only instead of who's the murderer, it's who's after the stone. Again, it's pretty obvious who it is and who it isn't to an adult, but still. By the way, Dumbledore has a map scarred onto his leg, which is brutal and awesome. Wizard Duel? Wands only, no contacts? I immediately thought Fox only Final Destination. Ron and Hermione are the 2 friends Harry meets right after the boring intro, and the plot makes sure they both have their own important roles to play. The fact that Hermione plays the same role every token female plays irks me a little, that role being nagging everyone and being smart. Ron isn't as much as a complete tool as he was in the movies, I felt, but he's still kind of bland. What I like is how they don't all 3 immediately become best friends willing to literally die for each other. However, by the end of the book, they do say something along the lines of, "Nothing is more powerful than love and friendship," a line which made me want to commit Sudoku. It was so forced. So to recap my feelings on the book, Harry being teleported from a poop show to a dope wizard school where he's the best at everything reads like a power fantasy, which I'm just not in the market for, at least not like this. It feels too much like J.K. Rowling tried to chemically engineer something popular by appealing to nerds that think they have it worse than they do. That said, the wizard stuff is cool and the plot is bolstered by simple but well-defined characters. Overall, I'd say if you haven't read this yet, give it a try if you're a child, but there's other fantasy works you'd probably enjoy more. I'll be uploading a book every weekend until the day I die, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.